maybe we should stop drinking. However, if one were to do that, they might find it a tiny bit absolutely difficult to watch Snowfalls. Written and directed by Colton Tran, starring Colton Tran, and comes to us courtesy of Colton Tran Films. You know, there's a pattern that I'm starting to sense, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I can't quite connect the dots, la la la, connect the dots, la la la. Maybe I just need to put my hands all over this pattern and just do this to the goddamn pattern. Just do this. In fact, this is what should have been done with the screenplay for Snowfalls. That there were 3 people that contributed to the writing of this movie that is 79 minutes, and there's a nice, neat little Twilight Zone concept in this. Twilight Zone that was noted for being about 30 minutes, like 24 minutes with commercials, or even the hour-long editions that were like 45 minutes without commercials, and even then, that's really, really stretching it. So this film was done in 6 days. I wonder what they did with the other 5. I don't mind independent movies with a short amount of, people in the cast and a small crew. That's fine. You can have some good ingenuity, and as long as you have some smarts, you can take a small budget movie, a micro budget movie, and make it fun. And there are a couple of neat little ideas in here that could have been fine, but everything is half hard, half baked, and I think I figured out what fueled the movie. It was either drunkenness or stupidity, possibly a combination of both. 2 other people that helped write this thing, besides Mr. Colton Tran. Luc Ganton, not Gaston, because they're completely different spellings. He did the Bone Box. I remember the Bone Box. It was a neat little idea. That's it. And Laura M. Young, who helped produce and executive produce, in some cases, some Swan Princess schlock. I did not even know they were still doing Swan Princess movies, but you know what? If you can get your money, that's fine. I don't even fault the writers. I don't fault the cast. I don't fault anybody for trying to make this concept work. But it's like if a bad Fear Street book and a bad Christopher Pike book had a baby, and you took out any of the witty dialogue that they would have had. And believe me, I used to own a lot of Fear Street books. Some of them were really putrid. I owned a lot of the Christopher Pike books. A lot of those are really putrid. This sadly isn't even the worst thing I've seen this year, and I am only what, like not even 3 weeks into the year. That's how rough it has already been. However, this may be one of the laziest movies I've seen, and I understand what they were trying to do. Again, a couple neat little ideas. The plot, such as it is, involves 5 friends going to celebrate New Year's. And the main characters are Eden, Anna, Grace Barlow. There's Kit, played by Colton Tran, who, you know what, I'll say this much. If you're going to write, direct, and you're going to star in a movie, and you're going to help produce it or whatever, I guess you might as well just give yourself the comedic douchebag role, and that's basically what he does here. There's M. That's basically, kind of how it sounds. She plays a little mousy character, Victoria Morales, and then there's James Gaisford, and he plays Andy, and then there's a character named River, and then there's River's dad that phones in his role, and then there's a character Jace, played by Jonathan Bennett, who literally phones in his role. There are 2 people that phone in their roles in this. I think that's where most of the budget went, just to get the strong phone signal. Okay, they get up to this cabin, they get snowed in, there's these bomb cyclones, all this crazy stuff's happening with all this snow, and these snow effects are really bad, but again, micro budget, that's okay, that's fine. They're stranded because power goes out, and now suddenly they can't do anything, they can only boil a little bit of water, they could boil the snow, and they could deal with a little bit of firewood that they have, but they're in the woods, they have axes, they go cut some trees down if they wanted, but they can't do that because that would be intelligent, so they just have to basically freeze, act all weird. They don't eat the yellow snow, but they use the snow to basically make alcohol snow cones. Oh boy, more drinking. Now we know it fueled the goddamn movie. And then, because they're starting to freeze, they're starting to get really, really cold, suddenly M is having these weird ideas that she is maybe sick. She's got something inside her. Other people are acting really weird. Eden suggests, no, we can't fall asleep because then we might not wake up. We'll succumb to hypothermia, so we need to stay awake, be sleep deprived, be food deprived, because one of us is hoarding food. A whole bunch. I'm just spoiling a lot of this because missing out on Snowfalls will not even haunt you if you have not heard of this movie. Don't worry. You're not missing out on much. Again, sadly, not the worst thing I've seen this year. And oh God, there were a couple neat little ideas here, and this movie failed to capitalize on any of it. They didn't even lean into the concept that it could have actually been a good comedy horror and just gone totally bonkers because somebody comes up with the idea that, oh my God, the snow itself might be evil. evil snow that consumes people, like that movie The Stand, where the beach kills people. Let me tell you, if you're gonna have a stupid concept and a stupid premise, kind of like how this movie is described on IMDb, just go full comedy. Just have fun. Just go full on stupid. Don't try to treat it seriously when you really don't have the material or the story or really anything to make it serious and make it like, oh my god, I really care about these characters. I don't give a shit about any of these characters. They could have all died within the first 10 minutes, and I could have been staring at the snow falling for the last 67. And you know what? It probably wouldn't have been actually that boring. It would have been like a Yule log. Yeah, they keep drinking, they keep doing this stuff. Eden comes up with an idea that, oh no, there was this Russian experiment where these people were isolated in this room and they started to turn on each other and everything, and they were doing all, they were acting all crazy. Ooh! And everybody starts dying and everybody does really, really, yeah, because in a horror movie like this, people are going to die. How do they die? You'll find out in the spoilers. I don't know why I'm putting a spoiler section on a movie called Snowfall. Snow does fall, so the movie does live up to that part of the title. It's bad. It's really, really bad, and you don't care about any of the characters. And again, a couple neat little ideas. The idea of isolation. I dealt with not having power for a few days after a bad windstorm and everything. It got really, really cold, and it was really, really scary. That's a neat little thing that you could focus on. But the movie really should have just gone full-on comedy because none of the serious ideas were able to add enough stakes or any stake or even a little bit of flank stake to this to make anybody care. It just ends up being an amalgamation of shit that we've all seen before, done better, even as far as independent movies go. Again, this is basically a 30-minute Twilight Zone episode stretched out to 79 minutes, and not even a good Twilight Zone episode. Let me tell you, 95% of the Twilight Zone episodes are at the very worst good, and most of them are goddamn great. It doesn't even have like an ending where you're just like, oh, that's what happened. No, it's just people being dumb. That's pretty much it. Yeah, let's get into spoilers. It's for a few bucks on Amazon if you really want to check it out. Get some friends together, drink. Be drinking still less than the goddamn cast apparently did. I'm sorry if you happen to be in the cast here. I wish nothing but the best for the writers, the actors, and everybody. But this, he shot for in only 6 days. I guess they had fun. I hope they had fun. It was bad. It was really, 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 really bad. I mean, not even the worst thing I've seen this year. That being said, 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so everybody basically ends up dying because one girl that thought that she had something inside her threw up some snow and cut it out of her stomach, cut this evil thing out of her stomach because somebody suggested that the snow might be haunted. That was River that suggested that. And then he siphons the gas out of the vehicle, saying that there's a virus in us and we need to stay here. Instead of siphoning out the gas to put it in the stove or the generator, he decides to siphon the gas out and spit it on the ground. Nobody would have thought maybe not let this lunatic character go out there and do that, but nobody bothered to think. Nobody bothered to cut down firewood. Nobody bothered to be intelligent. Nobody bothered to think, hey, maybe we should not go up there because this bad snowstorm's happening. Maybe we should just stay in a hotel off the mountain and it'll be all right. So everybody dies except Eden. Eden ends up being the only one left after telling the story about the Russian experiment. And oh God, let's see. We no longer wish to be free. So now she's upset because she's the only one left and everything, and that's it. That's it. That's literally. Kit ends up naked in the snow and dead because he tried to go for help and he succumbed to hypothermia and all that. Again, there are a couple ideas that could have worked here, but this ended up just being something that was just painfully generic and done better by other people. And again, I wish nothing but the best for the cast and the crew and everything, but this was really bad. Really, really bad. F, it gets an F. Again, not the worst thing I've seen this year, but still pretty bad. Snowfalls, ladies and gentlemen. Also funny how the snow kept falling, yet whenever they went out there in their boots, I have driven in snow that was deeper than this. Down an 800-foot hill. So I think a little bit scarier than anything happened in this. In fact, a lot scarier. Yeah, it gets an F. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.